The 9th roster update of NBA 2K21 already came out, and what I do for every roster update is that I go on to Twitter and I'm like, all right, what's the reaction? What is people's problem or positives about this roster update? ¿Qué pasa to the pack? It is Pack here,
aka your mama's best friend.
in today's video, I'm going to be doing that. But before this video starts, please be an OG, join the pack, and subscribe. Listen, if you like these rating discussions and roster stuff, honestly, I'm focusing my channel basically entirely on that now. So if you're interested in stuff, just follow, baby. Come along. We do this every day. Leave a like on the video. Sadly, it helps out way too much, and you have to do it's mandatory. Okay, there's 3 specific topics I think that I need to talk about, right? And this first one is Steph Curry is now +1 a 97 overall, making him tied as the best player in the NBA. I mentioned this in the roster update. I was like, this is kind of nuts, but 2K, of course, you know, they posted it on their Twitter as well. And people are just talking about it. But let me give my opinion first, and I'll tell you what people react to, okay? Steph Curry's really damn good, okay? If his record was a little better, he'd be MVP this season. But obviously, you know how that works. But still, is he the best player in the NBA tied with LeBron? That's another conversation. Let's see what you guys think, okay? So if Steph is a 97, LeBron should be a 98. They should never be equal. That is 54 likes by Muck Herbo, okay? So he believes LeBron James is better than Steph Curry. So let me kind of give you a breakdown. We kind of forgot how good Steph Curry is. I was driving with my friends to a road trip and we were talking about the top 10 NBA players in the league, and we'd gotten to 7, and I'm like, guys, how have we not mentioned Curry yet? Like, what's wrong with us? And they were like, no. I was like, no, guys, no. I know that, like, they were hurt last year, and I know that the record's bad, and I know that that team with KD was the best player, but we cannot act like Curry was not a top 3 player for a stretch when he was winning back-to-back MVPs. So, of course, we have to talk about Curry. And I know that LeBron is better. In my opinion, I think that LeBron James is better. I think it is obvious that LeBron James has and is the best player in the NBA. But I think that Curry is right behind him with other players. And so I think I'm okay with LeBron being a 98 overall. But Asensi20 says LeBron should be a 96 because Curry's on a level of his own right now. Okay, but then Nick UK says, yeah, but also Curry still isn't as good as LeBron. So we have pretty high number of likes on both of these tweets. I would never, unless we saw LeBron get in some kind of major decline, I think it's crazy to think that Curry is worse than LeBron. I don't know if we could ever say that until LeBron starts getting like clearly worse. I mean, we can pull up Curry's stats, but I don't even think I need to, but I'll pull him up anyways. In his last 10 games, guys, 38 points per game, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 50% from 3, 52% from the field. God damn. And I think they're like 8-2 in these past 10 games. Like, they're winning games. So they're winning. They have a over 500 record. They're in playoff position, or at least playing game position. Curry is putting up video game numbers. I don't know, man. I don't know. That sounds like a 97 overall to me, dude. It just, nobody else is doing that right now. Now, somebody makes an argument, and this is kind of the second topic of this video, and that is, should being injured decrease your rating? So this one actually has the most likes out of any of these, okay? Pinky Goat 24 says LeBron's been hurt and is still a 97. LOL. Everybody else gets hurt and rating plummets. Now, the only response that actually got any kind of likes was, it's LeBron, come on now, with 24 likes with the Kobe. But okay, so he's arguing that when you're injured as an NBA player, everyone's rating goes down, and that's actually not entirely false. There are players that when they get hurt, their rating does kind of drop a little bit, so when they come back, it's not as high as it was. KD was the same rating as LeBron. They were both 98 overalls. He gets hurt, he comes back, he's still playing as good as he was before, he just doesn't play as much, but now he's a 96 overall. So it does happen, but then there's players that doesn't happen to, like, for example, James Harden's been in and out, and yet his rating has stayed the same. So And same with Kyrie. So it kind of depends on the player. It kind of depends on how they're playing. This is how I see it. This is what usually happens in roster updates. If a player's been injured, the rating doesn't change. But when they come back, and that first week after injury, players are usually pretty rough. For example, Anthony Davis right now is not putting up the numbers he usually puts up, not only because of the minutes, but because he's coming back from injury, right? That being said, do you downgrade Anthony Davis -3? No, you got to give him like a month. And then after a month, if he's still not playing as good, then you downgrade him. So, no, I don't think LeBron should be downgraded. I think that when he comes back, if he plays worse after a month, then you downgrade him. That's how I think you should do it. Again, it's fair. It's not fair to judge a player coming right off injury. It's also not fair to judge a player on injury because you have no clue how they're going to play when they come back. So you can't just assume they're going to go down, right? It's not fair to them. In fact, there's players that even get hurt and then come back even better. So you can't do that with LeBron. I don't think that's fair. Okay, this final one is one that got actually a pretty good amount of likes, and that is by Clipset, and he's talking about Paul George, okay? Paul George is an 89 overall. This is exactly why no one plays this trash anymore. And then DJ M says he should be at least a 93 with how he's been balling with almost 90 likes. Okay, so listen to me when I say this, bro. Paul George is really good right now. He's really, really good. Let me, because he's kind of been under the radar. No one's really been talking about the Clippers for some reason. Okay, this season is one of his best seasons besides the season with OKC. Okay, 24 points per game, 7 rebounds almost, and 5 assists on 1.2 steals a game. But let me show you his past 10 games. His last 10, 32 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, almost 2 steals, and also 51% from the field on 41% from 3. Dude has been really, really good. Kawhi has missed a couple games here and there, and even then, they're 43-19 because Paul George has been playing that well. That being said, okay, we know Mr. Paul George. We know how good he's in the regular season. That's never been the question. We know he's good. The reason why his rating dropped and why nobody has him as high as we usually do is because Paul George, and we already know this, in the playoffs has bad stretches. So that's just my opinion. I think that, you know what? I think that's irrelevant. I think playoff performance is completely irrelevant during the regular season and ratings. Like, we can't give you a rating because we're assuming you're going to play bad later. Like, if you're playing good, you're playing good. You should be high. He is playing like a 93 overall. I'll give them that. But I also think, and I won't be surprised that his rating will drop during the playoffs if he performs bad, which he has shown us he does before. Again, though, that's just an opinion. At the end of the day, in my opinion, it does not matter. It's the regular season. He's playing good right now. His rating should go up at the moment today. Okay? So that is what's going on in the NBA world ratings-wise. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree with any of these? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, give it a sub. And I'll see you guys next time.